Hey guys, today we're going to be doing an out-of-box review for the high-grade Atlas Gundam from Gundam Thunderbolt. Before I begin, like I mentioned before, this is an out-of-box review, so I'm not really taking painting or modifying parts into account. I may still mention them at times, but the main focus is still just straight building. Secondly, I'm still trying to figure out the video format for this channel and the best way to present it, so if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Now, starting off with aesthetics, I really love the design of this kit. It has a different yet familiar color scheme while having a unique appearance with those huge sub-legs on the sides, which allows for a variety of posing options that are exclusively available for this kit. I really recommend getting an action base because this kit really shines when it's posed on one. I also like how the yellow highlights make the black and white parts of the armor pop, but not in a really flashy way. There's also quite a lot of detail on the armor, which is perfect if you like paneling. My only real gripe here is that there were a lot of color correcting stickers. Like there's some on the arms, some on the torso, the chest, the legs, and the back. That's quite a lot of stickers just for one kit, although I do understand why they need to be included for many of the details while making the build fairly simple.
I think I'm also just bad at applying stickers, so that really doesn't help.
Another thing that I want to note is that there's two stickers on the knee joints that are placed underneath a part of the thigh that rubs against the sticker, so they'll likely get damaged over time if you move the knees too much. The build itself was pretty straightforward for the most part, with a little bit of spice added thanks to the giant sub legs. The part separation is also quite good despite the stickers, down to the little V on its chest. The main Gundam itself is also very solid since it has no polycaps, so it can hold up its weapons with no issues, except for the sub-leg arms, which aren't supposed to be giant gray pieces. The sub-legs do wobble a little bit when they're not in a set position, but once they're locked in sub or flight mode, they're pretty much solid. Most of the seam lines are hidden pretty cleverly, but there is one for each knee armor pad as well as each sub-leg arm. Moving on, let's take a look at the accessories, which this kit has quite a few to play around with. You do get the normal Gundam loadout of beam rifle, beam sabers, and shield, with a little bit of a twist with the sub legs, railgun, another beam rifle, and the sheet of sticker style decals. Unfortunately, this kit doesn't come with any extra expressive hands, which is a shame, but the unique loadout does make up for it. Let's take a look at each accessory one by one. Now here's the kit with the sub legs attached. I definitely did not film this a week later after I filmed the rest of the video, and I definitely did not just get a ring light in the mail that I'm using right now. So here we go. So the way these sub legs are actually attached they're attached to a little peg on the side of the Atlas Gundam itself. If I can move this. It's actually quite a long peg, so you don't really have to worry about it coming off very much. So, and then you just take the hole here, and you just insert it right in there. So, the reason why I didn't want to show like the entire process of attaching these and posing these together is because like these are a little bit difficult at times to pose the sub leg arms, because the articulation here is actually a little bit limited. So let me just show you how much articulation this actually has. So there's one here on the waist itself, and it's move if it doesn't come in contact. If anything, can actually move up and down like so. It can move all the way around like so. It's a little bit difficult to move these around, and there's a little this piece back here can bend 180 degrees, and there's a swivel on this part over here, so you can move 360 degrees like so. And here's where the problem lies. So these are just two pieces just clipped together and up to around here where the actual joint is, where it bends back and forth like so, and the other part that bends is down here. So right, sorry, I knocked over my ring light for a second. So these there's a swivel down here as well. You can move this around, and these legs individually can move around as well, and these thrusters can also move up and down. Now the big issue with these is that actually getting them into any pose is kind of a hassle, because it does the fact that there's only one, two, only like these arms over here just don't move at all, does limit a lot of the articulation and like the posing potential of this kit itself. So it does take a while for it to get into any cool poses, but let me just show you a few that it can do. So I'm gonna switch this into flight mode real quick, and what you do is that there's a little hole at the bottom of the feet over here, right here. Oops, not the thruster, gone. I'll touch that later. And there's a little groove on here, and what you do is you take these and you attach them here, and oops, it's not the most secure connection. Flip out the thrusters here as well, and now they're on. The connection itself isn't quite secure, so I cut out the part where I had to attach the feet to the thrusters themselves, because it does take a little while to get it to work, but and the connection itself isn't the most secure thing in the world, but here it is in its flight form. Now actually getting it to pose it the way you want is quite a hassle so now to get to the kit in sub mode as well, you also need the shield that it comes with. So what you need to do is that you first need to take these off, of course. I also need to take the action base connector off as well. So you need to flip these up. Yeah. So you need and flip down the thrusters if you have them up already. For some reason, these, when you flip the back sub leg, it moves the entire thing. But if you move the front one, sometimes it just doesn't. It's really strange. But either way, what you do is that you take these. Oops. You take these, and then you take the shield itself, and then there's a little groove here, and attached to where the feet go in flight mode. Sticks in just like so. Please go in. Don't make this any more difficult than it has to be, please. There's a different groove. It's been a week, I didn't know what to do. Wait, no, this is right, no, this is right. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so you go. And now, technically it's in sub mode. Now actually, like, it's the same issue with flight mode, where it is like a little bit of a pain to pose, but you can just like move it around a little bit. Eventually, you'll get something that you'll probably like. So here it is. I have it in like a pose that's it's okay, I guess. So there's also the action base connector works similar here. So what you do is that you take, there's a little hole at the bottom of the shield, and then you take that and you just connect it here, and then stick it in there, and voila, there you go. There it is, surfing. So yeah, it is actually really cool once you see it in person and you actually get in those poses that you want, but actually getting them into those poses is a bit of a hassle, but it does feel quite rewarding once you get them in there. And yeah, so it is really cool. Alright, so now I'm going to be talking about the next piece of equipment, the railgun. Now, it's quite big. It's not that heavy in comparison to the rest of the kit, but it is quite long itself. So here's a little quick size comparison to the Atlas Gundam itself. It comes in two parts here. So you have this bottom part here, and then you have the trigger itself. So there's a little peg on the side here. If it will actually focus, please focus. Yeah, there's a little peg right here on the kit, and what you do is that you take your hand with a hole in it, little trigger finger, and then it just, oops, and then you take this part of the trigger finger itself, trigger hand itself, and then you close it, and there you go. Now it's holding the railgun. Now the connection itself here isn't the most secure, but if you I bet if you put a bit of glue, or maybe like a bit of glue onto the peg itself, it will attach pretty easily. It also is important to note that there's only one peg on one side of the gun, so you can only really hold it in the right hand. Now that's attached. All you have to do now is move this hand, and you attach it in here, and there you go. Now he's holding the railgun. Because it's a no polycap kit, it actually the Atlas Gundam actually holds the railgun pretty easily with no issues whatsoever. So even if I just leave it like this for a little while, I've left this for like a day, just holding the railgun itself, and it just didn't even move at all. It's rock solid. Even after like a quick shake test, it just, well, okay, I shook it a little bit too hard, but even if I just shake it a little bit like this, it doesn't move very much. So it holds this thing no problem. So I'm so glad this thing doesn't come with polycaps. So posing this thing should be a breeze. The next accessory I'm going to be talking about is the shield itself. So the way that it attaches to the arm here is it requires this piece over here. This is also the underside of the sub mode as shown before. So the way it works is that there's a little hole on the side of the arm, and you take this attachment here, and then you just simply put it on, and there you go. And then you take the regular holding hand, and you part, then you make it hold, and then you to attach to the shield, and then you reattach it to the arm itself. And okay, this is this is one of the issues I have with the hands themselves. They do fall apart quite easily. Hang on, I'll be back one second. All right, so I'm back, and I finally got the shield attached to the arm, and I had to be quite gentle, because I'm pretty sure if I move it a little bit too much, it'll probably fall off as well. So because of that, I'm not going to be putting in the second. There is a second position, but I really can't be bothered right now, because that took me like 20 minutes just to get this into this spot. But if you really do want to know what it looks like, actually, okay, never mind. So the first position is something like this, and there's also a second position. It's the way to attach it is quite similar. You just kind of, but like you take the shield itself and you just collapse it onto the. Yeah, this is one of the cons of this kit. The hands are a little bit are prone to like kind of falling apart when you're attaching stuff to them, and the connection isn't quite secure. But you can actually just like stick the shield onto the arm, and it does stick quite well, and you kind of just pretend there's like a hand on, like the hand is actually just holding it if you really wanted to. After around 10 more minutes, I have figured out how to get into the second position, so this one's probably a little bit better for posing. it is so quite fragile. So I wouldn't really, to be honest, I don't really recommend just like getting into the different shield positions unless you're just planning to just put it standard to pose it and just never move it around ever again. But here it is, and yeah, that's it. Moving on, we're going to be talking about the dual beam rifles. So you get two of these, and these are actually virtually identical. They pretty much work like any other beam rifle. So you get this little peg on the side, and take the trigger finger hand, and you put it on, and there you go. Close it up, and it's done. It's just like that. Oops, okay. Yeah, so the trigger fingers have like are just as fragile as the other hands, holding hands. So it's not the most secure connection, even with the peg on. There you go. So here it is. Okay. So let's just pretend it has both beam rifles in hand. So here's the beam rifle in one of its hand, and I quite like this design over here. It has, I see like the little magazine on top, and the gun itself is actually just looks so detailed. And there's like just so many opportunities for panel lining and just customization. It's actually just quite insane. And there's that. So the last thing we're going to be talking about are the dual beam sabers. Now, funnily enough, these are master grade sized for whatever reason, so they are huge. I don't know why Bandai went with like the really big ones, but here we are. So the way these work, you just put them in, just like slot them in the hand, and there you go. They're done. Oh, okay. Slot them in hand. And there you go. The Atlas Gundam is holding the beam sabers now. Now, there's no clicking or anything. It just kind of just stays in there. And if you do move it at like a strange angles, the beam sabers will fall out of its hand. And so if I just shake it, yeah, it just falls out. But it does work. You just have to be a little bit careful of it. So these also can be stored. So take off these little shoulder pads, and you just stick them right in, close them back down. Voila, they're stored back in. So let's take the other one. And it's done. Oops. So lastly, I'm going to be talking about the articulation on this kit, which it's quite good for the most part. So the head here moves 360 degrees, doesn't really get in the way of anything. Does move up and down. There's a little you can bend its head quite far up, like fairly far up, and then look far down, even though it's basically just staring at its little chest. Oops. There you go. It's the arm moves up 360 degrees. It's a little joint here on the side and moves up like so. Arm moves 360 degrees up the shoulder, and the elbow is a double joint, and it moves all the way up like so. The fist here is on a ball joint and moves 360 degrees like so. The front skirts if you cut them, they actually come in like one piece, but if you do cut them in the middle, they can move individually like so. But they are a little bit quite short for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but for some reason this left side skirt does tend to fall off a little bit for some reason. There's that. The legs, quite a lot of articulation when there's nothing in the way. Moves all the way up here, 360 degrees, and rotates all the way up like this.
Same situation with the arms, where the leg can move all the way back like this. A lot of articulation right here. And oh, I also forgot to mention that the hips can't move up and down. There's a little joint in there if you can see it, like so. And the ankles move 360 degrees, bend forward and back. Oops, falls apart. And the toe moves like so, and the back moves like this as well. This can move to the front a little bit, but not quite a lot. It's, yeah, just, you can, if you really want to like bend the toe like this for a pose, you can actually do that. It's mostly for the attachment to the sub legs, but yes, it can do that as well.
So it turns out I forgot one extra point of articulation, so it's in the chest. Well, a few points of articulation to be exact. So it actually can move forward and back. See, it actually can move back quite far because of the way it's attached. And yeah, forward motion is actually quite good as well. It's a bit of side to side motion, but not quite a lot. That's a pretty decent amount actually. And then I can also move 360 degrees, like so. Oops. There. So wrapping up my thoughts on the high grade Atlas Gundam, I think this is a very unique kit. The design is so unique, even in Japan or just overseas, there's nothing like it. And the fact that it comes with so many different accessories gives this kit so many different options for posing alone. It's a fun kit to pose as well, even though the sub legs are kind of most of the time. As much as I'm glazing this kit, I do have to acknowledge that this kit has an ambitious design. Particularly when it comes to the sub legs, the fact that the arms on them don't really move that much does give it enough posing ability to put in some cool poses, but it does leave a bit to be desired when it comes to more interesting poses. As for the hands, I think they're just not very good. Maybe with a bit of modification, they think they could work a lot better, but with how they are in this kit, they just don't really hold on to anything very well, and it tends to pop off very easily. So I'm really glad that they changed the design of the high grade hands in like future kits. So if you got this far into the video, I would like to give everyone my sincerest thanks. If you liked the video, please tell me and maybe give me a suggestion on how to improve the video format, because I'm still trying to like experiment with the format itself. You might be able to see that in the video. I literally recorded them like a week apart. Yeah, this video just took forever to make. I really didn't know what I was doing when it comes to video editing. But I really want to keep doing this. I still have like a few more kits to review in the back, and I really hope that some of you will stick around just to watch those. So thank you for stopping by, and have a good one.